We have a very interesting case here that I don't think it's talked about enough. I think this needs more attention. It has to do with transracialism, and we're going to look at a specific example through this guy right here.
I'm a 35-year-old white man.
Harrison, born Antoine Smalls, has transracial identity, identifying as Harrison Booth, a 35-year-old white man from Colorado.
And when did you know that you were a 35-year-old white man?
Well, I've always felt different. I go to the store, the movies, and just be thinking to myself, like, why am I not getting the respect I deserve? And then it just hit me. I'm white and 35. I just miss Colorado sometimes. You know, here I pretend the buildings are the old San Juan mountain range, but, you know, the job's just here.
And where do you work?
I'm a systems engineer for Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay.
That boy don't work. He go to school and that's it. One day he said, call me Harrison. I said, who's that? He said, me.
Do you believe that he is a white man?
I mean, he isn't. Shit, I'd love to wake up one day and say, hey, everybody, I'm Rihanna. But I ain't.
Well, see, that's actually a very different thing. Obviously, you can't identify as someone who already exists. That doesn't make any sense. But, like, just the same as when we talk about gender, I mean, you just have to feel it. Like, if you're assigned a biological male and you want to be a woman, I mean, that's fine, but you have to genuinely feel like that. Just like this guy, phenotypically, he might look black, but he feels white. You can't get into his head and tell him he's lying unless you could put him on a lie detector test and his own thought of being a white person is false. Then we can't really say if he's telling the truth or not.
My family just doesn't get it. You know, I try to get them to go out with me, go on walks, go to the farmer's market, chat with people, but yeah.
So why don't you think that they get it?
I don't think they get it because they don't realize that race is just a made-up thing. They grew up having labels, and me, I'm just not like that.
I see. So how do you embrace your identity?
I dress a certain way, Patagonia. I wear a thick brown leather belt. I like to envision myself after the surgery.
See, and this guy is wanting to get a surgery to look more in line with how he feels his identity is, the same way the transgender people do, and that's very valid.
Hey, excuse me, what IPA do you have on tap? Hey, did you see Game of Thrones last night?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So your surgery, that's later this year.
Right. I started working at Stonecrest Mall, so hopefully by then I have enough money to take the next step.
Harrison has been planning a full racial transition with the Dr. Samuel Vergara, who guarantees Harrison can visually transition through an experimental procedure that will allow Harrison to not only be a white man, but whatever race he chooses.
The procedure's absolutely 100% possible. He's gonna look weird, though.
But before Harrison can fully realize his physical identity, he still has the day-to-day that's filled with discrimination and ridicule.
It's pretty awful, you know, you're walking the streets and black people, they see you, they're nodding to you like, hey, good to see us. And it's to the point where I've just given up. I've stopped trying to convince them that I'm not us.
You could definitely see where his pain comes from, because when you look at identity disorders like gender dysphoria, for example, you know, they may look a certain way and say like a biological male is perceived in their day-to-day life as a male, like they're being called he, him, and sir, but they really identify as a female. That takes a toll on your psyche and is really bad mentally, and it's not good to be addressing people in terms of how they don't identify.
Gotcha.
Excuse me, this is definitely the guy. He doesn't even live in the area. I've never seen him before.
You see, if he was lying about being a white man, would he have done that? I don't think so. I believe him. I believe he's white.
I think we're taking slow strides, but you have to believe things are getting better. Otherwise, you'll just
The guy's even wearing New Balances.
die inside.
Is there anything you'd like to say to other black kids out there who may be going through the same thing?
Just be you at all costs, but also stop dressing so crazy.
That's pretty much the end of the video. Of course, a lot of people are going to say this is satire, and be that as it may, this is still a very real issue that that has a lot of stigma surrounding it. People laugh at things like this. Oh, you think you're white? You're not really white. You think you're black? You're not really black. But at the end of the day, it's all about how you feel. I mean, you just have to feel it. You know, just like you said, race is a social construct that people made to, you know, separate the races and give power to certain people. And that's very much man-made. So there is no set in stone anything when it comes to these social constructs. So if you want to feel white, feel black, feel Asian, then that's what you are. It's all about how you feel. Let me know what you guys think about this topic.